Alright, so for this tutorial, I'll be covering how to make these indent cuts in our robot model, and I will also be covering how to make these cutouts at the bottom of our robot so that our tire or wheel can fit in that little cutout. Okay, so let's get into it. First thing first, let me just show our model here. So we go to the side view and then hit the 4 key to bring up wireframe mode, and you will see here that we have this kind of rectangular, huge rectangular slot in the side of our robot model, so we need to cut that out. So to do that, we need to add an edge loop here. To add an edge loop, let's select our multi-cut tool with the robot selected. I'm going to turn off symmetry, and I'm going to hover my mouse right about here, click and drag. Okay, and align my orange line from my cut, like my orange cut line, to the line on the reference photo, like about that far. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side, like this. Okay, so now you have these kind of cuts in them. And if for some reason you don't have an edge here, so it's say if you have no edge here, you need to put in an edge for the bottom of the slot. So to do that, I'll just select the multi-cut tool, hold down Control, and line this orange line up to like the bottom line here, like something like that. That'll work just fine. Okay. But before I do anything else, I will have to put in another cut, and that cut will be right about here, below that line. All right, so let's go to our perspective view, hit the 5 key to bring up shaded view, and I'm going to hide our reference layer. And this is kind of what our robot is looking like currently. So now I'm going to go to face mode, and I'm going to select these two faces, so or 4 in total, so select them on both sides, yeah, and do an extrude and extrude in, so thickness will be negative, and let's just leave it at 0.03. I can get it. I cannot get it with the slider, so I'll type it in. Negative 0.3. So far, negative 0.3 seems to work for us pretty good, so we'll keep going with that. So now you have your side slots like that. Now we have to cut out the base of this robot so that our shape can fit in, like this type of shape right here, right? Like that. So to do that, we already put a line at the bottom here, but before we do, we have to kind of realign our robot vertices a little better. So with the body of the robot selected, I'm actually going to hide the wheel here, so it's a little cleaner to look at. Also, I'm actually going to undo that and hide the arm, the wheel, and everything else in between. Just gonna hide everything. So I'm just working with the model, the body, sorry. So you see here that our edge is like going like this, but the reference has our kind of opening more like that. So we have to move our edge so that they align. To do that, I'm going to go to vertex mode. Again, I'm making sure that camera-based selection is turned off, and in the side view, I'm going to grab these vertices, and I'm going to use the move tool to move them just like that much. And I'm also, like, there's a height difference here, so I'm going to grab these two vertices and move them up like so. Okay. So once that's done, I'm going to go into face mode and click and drag to select the faces and the ones behind them, and hit delete. So that will delete your faces. Now if I go into perspective view, hit the 5 key, and I will isolate my robot body, you'll see that we now have a hole like that in our model. Yeah? Okay. So the next step is we will have to re-bridge these holes together. And that is easy. So we can just bridge it using this command here. So I would just go to edge mode, select one edge here, and the other edge, the opposite edge, you can see here, one edge, two edges. And to bridge, that's shift, mouse button down, go down to bridge. Okay? And that will bridge them. And before I do anything else here, I am going to add 3 edges to this face here. So to do that, I will select the multi-cut tool and hover over our edge here. Do one here at 50%, and then another one at 50, and another one at 50 on the other side. So you should have something that looks like this. So now you can start bridging these edges together. Bridge, so run that command, and then the second one, do it again. Bridge, bridge, bridge. What you can do is you can select all of the ones on one side, then you can shift and you can select all the other all of the ones on the other side and bridge them together like that. Now we shouldn't have any problem. Yeah. And so that's how you cut out the side of the robot, and I'll show you how to cut out the front as well. So the front of the robot, well, to do that, let's go back to the front view. And because I have this isolated, I'm going to unisolate it and hit 4 on the keyboard to bring up this view here. And the slots for the robot's cutout is somewhere around here-ish. So I will select my multi-cut tool and add a line about there. Okay. And for the side here, I'm going to turn on symmetry, object X, and I will hold down Control, and you can see with symmetry turn on, I can add edge loops on either side. So I'll leave it like somewhere like this, maybe like that. Okay. Then turn off again. Hit the 5 key to bring back my shaded viewport, and I'm just going to delete these faces right here. Okay, these faces. Delete. Okay. Should look something like that. And now before we bridge them, let's delete the back as well, because the back has the same sort of situation going on. So I'm going to go to back view. We don't have a back view reference photo. Well, technically we do in my folder. So we can use this back view as sort of a reference for how far this gets cut, but I'm just going to eyeball it for this tutorial. So to do that, I'm just going to select my multi-cut tool and place an edge right about there or so. Okay. And same deal, I'm going to face and grab all these faces and hit delete. Okay. So now I have to bridge them. So we already know how to do that. So I would just do it really quickly. Select all your edges on one side, select all your edges on the other side, hit bridge. Okay. bridge, 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 and last but not least, bridge. Okay, so once you're done, hit the 3 key to check for any holes, any broken geometry, and if your smoothed out view looks like there's no holes or tear in it, that means you did a good job. And if you did everything correctly, your model should look something like this. Okay? And that is the end of this tutorial.